You've reached the busy signal. I'm Jim, your host, and this podcast is all about revisiting the pop culture we grew up with. From the TV shows and movies we loved, to music, commercials, and the moments that never really left us. The Busy Signal, episode 71. Thanks for listening. Hey, happy summer, everybody. Back in June of 2024, we kicked off summer here on the show with an episode called Toys That Tried to Kill You. That was all the way back in episode 19. So if you missed it, definitely dig back in the archives and check it out. I cover some classic dangerous toys, but there's still more meat on this bone. Our summers weren't without risk back in the day, and sometimes the least likely toys were ER trips waiting to happen. So today, I'm back with Toys That Tried to Kill You 2, The Revenge. Basically, a fun little way to kick off another summer while also reminding everybody to maybe, wear a helmet every once in a while. Because in the 80s, 90s, and even those early 2000s, before technology took over, summertime was basically organized chaos. We were flying down hills on sketchy scooters or throwing ourselves on thin sheets of plastic covering rocky lawns. We launched all sorts of projectiles at each other and had toys that created long-lasting memories and deep scars. But we survived. That's the thing. We survived. I think us 80s and 90s kids are as tough as we are today because of the low safety standards that we dealt with back in the day. The toys that didn't kill us made us stronger. So grab your sunglasses, some sunblock, and maybe have an ice pack standing by in the freezer because we're heading outside to summer's past for another round of toys that tried to take us out, right here on the Busy Signal. Nothing said summer in the 90s like toys that launched projectiles 50 feet in the air while using questionable engineering in a garden hose. And one of the best examples of that was the splash-off water rockets. These things were made by the Ohio Art Company. And if that sounds familiar, you're right, because that is the same company that gave us the Etch-a-Sketch. So let's get this right. The same company that gave us the Etch-a-Sketch also apparently decided kids should be able to arm themselves with pressurized backyard H2O missiles. The splash-off water rocket hit stores in April of 1997. You hooked the launcher up to a garden hose, filled the rocket with water pressure, and then launched it into the sky. Sounds awesome, honestly, right?
Which would you rather play with? A Titan rocket or the splash-off water rocket? The Titan rocket gets real hot. Splash-off gets you real cool. It gets you soaking wet. The Titan rocket is just for adults. Splash-off is just for kids. They get you soaking wet. Plus, you can launch over and over. Splash-off's more higher than the housetop. And it gets you soaking wet. The splash-off water rockets from Ohio Art.
Well, by June of 97, they were already being recalled nationwide because here's the problem. The rockets could actually burst during the pressurizing process. Not after launch, during the setup. The plastic body would explode into plastic shrapnel while kids were leaning over it, pumping it up. 37 reports were made to the U.S. Product Safety Commission of shattering rockets, causing cuts, lacerations to hands, shoulders, and even foreheads. Yikes. So imagine being a kid in the summer of 1997, crouching over this thing in your backyard, thinking this is just going to be the best minute of your life, trying to get maximum pressure for the coolest launch possible. And then suddenly, your toy becomes a fragmentation grenade. Boom. That actually seems pretty on brand for the 90s because the way I remember it, all toys had speed, pressure, impact, and the risk of blood loss, right? Was it just me? Okay, so maybe outdoor toys were the dangerous ones. I mean, think about the previous episode that we did here. Those were mostly outdoor toys, I'm pretty sure. So how about we try something different? Let's stay inside with a nice, cuddly, safe doll. Seems like a no-brainer. Like, what could possibly go wrong? In the fall of 1996, Mattel released Cabbage Patch Kids Snacktime Kids. These dolls could eat. Like, you fed them little plastic cookies and french fries, and motors inside their mouth would pull the food in and, quote-unquote, chew it.
She's my Cabbage Patch Snacktime kid. She really loves to snack. Wow, she really chews. Eating her is so much fun. Your bananas all gone. Let me feed her. And when you think she's
Comes with all the play food you see here. Eat sold separately, batteries not included.
I mean, that's a cute idea, right? I mean, except for one major issue. The doll didn't know the difference between its plastic French fries and a child's finger, or hair even. There was no reverse switch, no emergency shutoff, so if your hair got caught, the doll just kept chewing, pulling it in. Parents literally had to rip the battery pack out to stop it. Kids reportedly had chunks of hair pulled out, fingers pinched, and emotional damage, clearly, after encounters with this doll. Understandable. I mean, imagine your doll's trying to consume you as if you're starring in a low-budget horror movie. Ooh.
Cabbage Patch dolls. They come with registered names. Maybe one in Griffith, Indiana was named Chucky. The Cabbage Patch Snacktime Kids doll is designed to chew automatically when fed plastic French fries. Well, this particular doll began munching on 7-year-old Sarah Stevens' hair, right up to the scalp. It happened, ironically, at a hair salon. The owner tried to free the little girl from the jaws of her doll.
First thing I did was, after I got the battery out, to see if I could, push a button or something, a lever, and pull the hair back through. But as the hair went in, it intertwined into the gear, and then you couldn't get it out.
Ooh, ow. The only way to untangle Sarah's hair was to spend an hour taking the doll completely apart. Its maker says there have been no complaints about safety, and Sarah wants another one.
All in all, about 35 injuries were reported. Mostly minor, but the nightmare factor for this thing was off the charts. The doll hit stores in late '96. Warnings were issued by New Year's Eve that same year, and Mattel recalled all of them by January of 1997. So yeah, injuries were minor physically for this one, but psychologically, this Cabbage Patch Kid terrorized a generation of kids. I'm sure there's people in therapy for this still. Do you have a PTSD story about the Cabbage Patch Snacktime Kid? I'd love to hear that. Do you still have one? Does it work? Did you try and feed it anything else other than French fries, like fingers or your friend's fingers, your brother's fingers? Meanwhile, back in 1994, Galoob released Sky Dancers, those spinning fairy dolls that launched into the air from a pull string base.
Sky dancers! They're flying! Fly for me, just for me, sky dancers dance for me. Wow, they really fly! Come to me, dance for me, sky dancers fly for me. They're beautiful!
New Sky Dancers, real flying dancers with magical wings and pretty dresses. Pull their magic star and they twirl and fly.
Sky dancers fly just for me.
New Flying Sky Dancers, doll and doll with launcher sets, each sold separately.
And for about 5 glorious seconds, they were magical. Then the fairy would immediately veer off course and try to permanently blind a family member. Sky Dancers weren't just dangerous for the kids playing with them, they became unpredictably dangerous for everyone literally in the room. They flew like tiny glitter-covered helicopters with absolutely no flight plan. One second they're soaring majestically, and then the next second, grandma's taking a fairy directly to the forehead. And the injuries were like no joke. There were around 170 reports of the doll striking people, leading to about 150 actual injuries, including scratched corneas, broken teeth, facial cuts requiring stitches, and even a mild concussion. And I'm not sure how about this one, but a broken rib. Eventually, in June of 2000, nearly 9 million Sky Dancers were recalled. The Consumer Product and Safety Commission said that Galoob had known there were problems for a while and waited too long to report them, so Galoob was fined $400,000 by the CPSC for the delay. Does anybody else out there have a Sky Dancer story? Oh man, I didn't have a Sky Dancer. It really wasn't my demographic, but does anybody out there have a Sky Dancer story? Or do you have a picture of you getting a Sky Dancer for Christmas? Throw it up on Instagram and tag @BusySignalCast. I'd love to share that on the stories. Everybody can see that, and we'd have a good time remembering the danger that was Sky Dancers. And if you go on YouTube, there's plenty of videos of Sky Dancer fails. My favorite one is where a little girl tries her Sky Dancer for the first time. It literally looks like she just got it for Christmas, opened it up in the middle of the living room, rips the cord, it starts to spin, and then it gracefully flies up and right into the lit fireplace and burns up immediately. It's really funny, but really sad. I feel bad for her, but that was really funny at the same time. But that's Sky Dancers, right? Moving on from kamikaze fairies, let's go back to the drawing board and put a new spin on a tried and true activity, roller skates. Enter Heelys. Invented in 1999 by Roger Adams, Heelys turned into a massive craze in the early 2000s. These were sneakers with a hidden wheel in the heel, so kids suddenly could glide through malls, schools, grocery stores. Basically, any flat surface became a skate park. And it really did look cool, by the way. Like, I was already in college when these came out, so I wasn't about to strap on a pair, but I remember seeing younger kids and thinking, man, I wish I had had those in like middle school.
Roll, everybody roll, 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 everybody roll!
The only shoe with a removable wheel in the heel that lets you walk or run, and then by simply shifting your weight to your heels, you're rolling. Heelys, hang out or drop in. It's all about the wheel in the heel.
Heelys and a yo-yo? That would have been an awesome combo. Seriously, just saying. So, how were they dangerous? They were roller skates. Like, most kids weren't wearing helmets or elbows and knee pads. They just saw them as really cool sneakers. They'd throw them on and immediately try skating through the mall like it was the X Games. So, the learning curve is where the injuries happened. Studies found that during the first few times using Heelys, many during the first actual use, kids who maybe weren't the greatest skaters to begin with would hit like the smallest of obstacles or even a tile floor and wipe out, like backwards. So emergency rooms saw broken wrists, fractured arms, sprained ankles, and even head injuries. So naturally, Heelys, the actual company, increased safety warnings and recommended protective gear, which is fair because Heelys weren't defective. Kids just needed to treat Heelys like any other roller skate or inline skate and wear protective gear. But wearing stealth roller skates with a helmet does detract from the actual coolness. So you gotta get good and put in your reps before you go flex. Alright, so before we wrap up, let's head back to the mid-1990s one more time. Let's hit up 1996 when Laramie, the makers of the best water guns ever, gifted kids with the Super Soaker CPS 2000. Possibly the most absurdly overpowered water gun sold to children, period. CPS stood for Constant Pressure System, which used a pressurized rubber bladder instead of a regular air tank.
It's the biggest, baddest, most powerful Super Soaker ever. The revolutionary Super Soaker CPS 2000. Constant Pressure System. Maxed out nozzle delivers more water faster and further than any other Super Soaker. Constant Pressure System means you get a steady stream of raw water power. It's the next wave in water power. Here. The Super Soaker CPS 2000. As wet as it gets.
This thing didn't spray water, it lasered it. Welts, bruises, stinging skin, blurred vision, and the echoes of a lot of neighborhood kids screaming, "Not the face, not the face!" But wasn't that the appeal? Like, if one kid showed up with a CPS 2000, the entire water fight was basically over. This thing had range, power, and the subtlety of a fire hose. I mean, it did what it was designed to do, so there was never an actual recall of the CPS 2000. Laramie never publicly said anything about safety issues, but fans and collectors noticed that later versions appeared to have been quietly redesigned with reduced pressure or smaller internal components, and that led many to believe the original version may have been a little too effective at turning kids into pressure washer test subjects. The 90s were great. Toy makers of that decade literally looked at kids and thought, you know what summer needs? Tactical backyard artillery. Yeah, let's do it. Back in the day, we didn't think twice about any of this stuff. Like, we strapped on the Heelys, launched the Sky Dancers, cracked somebody with a slap bracelet, and blasted our friends across the yard with a Super Soaker powerful enough to remove paint from a fence. We didn't just survive, we thrived. And maybe that's why our generation's built a little different. We weren't just playing with our toys, we were training with them. Playtimes were basically low-budget action movies with parental supervision set to good luck, kid. And if this episode unlocked some warm summer memories for you, head on over to Instagram and check out the show at BusySignalCast, where you'll find the retro commercials from this episode and tons of clips from past episodes or even our weekly nostalgia themes. Last week's was frozen treats from back in the day, so join in on the fun at BusySignalCast. Slap rap that follow button and say hi in the comments. don't miss your daily shot of nostalgia. And if you liked this episode, we've got 70 others. So make sure you subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, or wherever you get your pods. And if you've got a minute, leave a 5-star rating or a positive review. It really helps others connect with old memories too. Plus, if you leave a comment or a review, I read them all. I usually respond to them all. And you also might hear me read it on a future episode. Just like I'm about to do right now for Ken and Chad. They're our nostalgic neighbors over at the Retro Resurgence podcast. Feel free to listen to their show after you listen to this one in its entirety, of course. Anyway, Ken and Chad commented on episode 69, What's in Your Pockets, 1990s. Ken said, dude, the Genco hurricane story is classic. Great episode. And Chad wrote, hey Jim, if it isn't a Duncan, and that's where he left it, if it isn't a Duncan, ... So, of course, I responded appropriately with, it isn't a yo-yo. So thanks Ken and Chad for checking in. Always good to hear from you guys. And I think that does it for this one. After 2 episodes of Toys That Tried to Kill You, lawn darts are kind of looking pretty safe right now, aren't they? Just kidding. Happy summer, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Catch you later. Once again, I'd like to say thanks for listening. And as always, you can listen to The Busy Signal everywhere quality podcasts are streamed. Hit the subscribe button to have a new episode delivered directly to your favorite device every other Friday. If you really like the show, leave a 5-star rating or a positive review on Apple and Spotify. That lets everyone know to come check out what you already think is awesome. You can also head over to Instagram and follow @BusySignalCast for even more retro-nostalgic content. I share a good amount of stuff over there that isn't mentioned in the show. While you're there, say hi in the comments. Don't be shy. And until next time, remember, reach out and touch the past.